Monday Night Wars podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Monday Night Wars. It is September 8th, 1997, and we are at the Milwaukee Arena in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. That's native for, that's Algonquin, I think he says, for the good earth.
He says the good land.
Oh, the good land? The good land, same diff, man. There are different interpretations of it in Algonquin culture.
Yeah, but we're talking, that's fine. I know what you're doing, but we're talking about Wayne's World regardless. So,
and I'm making that up. I'm not even sure if it's the Algonquins. I think that's the right area, though. Anyways, if you are a student of Native American history, and I'm right, send me an email. Tell us we're right. And if I'm wrong, don't bother. Let's get into it because Flair is very mad, and it's going to be very exciting. and I really, really want to talk about that. But first, we got Nitro girls. Yes. They're also they're talking about the Four Horsemen parody that we saw last week. But they say they're not going to show it. They're refusing to show it. And they ask, well, Tony says he's not going to show it. Right. But then Eric comes out and says, yes, you are, because I'm the boss man and J.J. Dillon has no authority. He didn't say that part. I'm just saying that part because it's factual.
Yeah.
And so they're going to play the video. But the real horsemen come out and say, don't they, Joseph? What
they
do they say?
Well, I don't have exactly what they said, and there's a reason for that, but we'll get into it. So, like you said, Bischoff walks out. He's furious. He's specifically furious because not only the fact that they won't play the Four Horsemen thing, but also because, like, J.J. Dillon was like, Sting gonna face Hogan. And he wants to avoid that. So that's the other thing he's really furious about. Like you said, he starts replaying the events from last week. Horsemen come out. They stop the replay. Mongo and Benoit actually call out the NWO, challenging them tonight, right now. Come out here, right now. They all head to the ring. The NWO, of course, do not come out, but Mean Gene, joins the Horsemen. Kurt calls himself the new enforcer. He says that the NWO will get theirs. Mongo gets heavily booed by the Packers fans. Makes sense. He was a Bear for most of his career. None of the Horsemen actually say anything of any importance. Until Flair. And then he starts by saying last week was the first time he was embarrassed to tell anyone he was a professional wrestler in his 30 plus years of a career. And then Flair shoots. And Flair gives a scorched earth promo that I do not believe I can fairly describe. I think it needs to be seen. I think if you're listening to this and you want to know more about it, which I'm sure we'll discuss the contents, but if you want to know more about it, 1000% turn on September 8th, 1997 episode of Nitro. It's the opening segment. It will take no time to get there, and watch Flair irate. He is so mad about how they treated Arn last week on the show that was supposed to be Arn's, that they made it about the NWO again. There are a few things I remember specifically. The biggest one is that if you've been in this business as long as he has, and you have even one person who will stand with you at the end, you've done something right. And that his one person is Arn. And last week he was crying. This week he is not crying. He is screaming into the mic. He is very clearly, legitimately upset about what happened. I'm sure they will say that's not the case and that this was all, a storyline. But Nah, Flair pissed. Flair's not a good hide his emotions guy. He never has been. He finishes this by saying, "We aren't leaving until you guys come down." And again, I don't have word for word what he says, but it gets an A+. Everything else, honestly, probably could have not happened. You could have just had Flair walk out, Horseman behind him, come straight down to the ring, grab a mic, and then just go off. And it would have still been an A+. It is fantastic work from Flair. It absolutely pushes a storyline forward that is going to suck. The storyline is
Yes.
going to end up horrible and we're going to hate it.
Mhm.
But it does push the story forward. It gets an A+ in this moment.
Yeah, this is genuine anger. It has to be. I've seen Flair, story angry. I've never seen Flair this angry. He is screaming. It's sometimes hard to understand him, how loud he is screaming. He is saying he's speaking through clenched teeth. He's spitting.
Mhm,
He's screaming so loud you can see spit flying out of his mouth.
mhm.
He is rabid.
Yes.
He is absolutely rabid
Mhm.
and out for blood. And he says, "We're not leaving until the NWO gets out here." And then security says, "Hey, you guys got to leave." And they say, "Okay."
Yeah.
Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio Jr. Tell me about it, Joseph.
This is Ray's return match. And as you can imagine, being that it's with Eddie, it's very good. Mysterio does hit the Rana, though, and it's over and it gets a B. I know that was a quick synopsis, but we have some important things to talk about tonight, and we don't have time to spend on this, even though this is a great match and it's fantastic. It gets a B. There's no storyline going into it. It is what it is.
And fairly long for
Mhm.
a Monday night match. It's almost 6 minutes, which is a
Wow.
pretty match. Yeah, I gotta say, going back to the Flair thing, I really would have loved if he did what I think it was Macho Man did it a year or so ago, where he just sat in the ring and said, "I'm not leaving
Mhm.
until you give me what I want." And then
Mhm.
everyone who would come out to try and talk him out of it just got their ass beat.
Yeah.
They should do that. Like, if you don't want to do it in the ring, you can just have Flair just sitting out there in a folding chair, like just
Right.
next to the entrance or something, just waiting,
Yeah.
you know? But it'd have been good. It would have been good. Anyways, Nitro Girls! Mm, 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 mm. And Gene Oakland wants to talk with DDP. Do you want to talk about this one, or should I just give a quick synopsis?
I mean, I've got it. DDP says he just wants
Okay.
respect and he feels that he's earned it. He puts over Luger too. DDP says
Mhm.
maybe they just need to duke it out. Maybe they just need to go
Yeah.
in the ring, have a
Mhm.
one-on-one contest, duke it out. Whoever comes out on top comes out on top, and that they can move past this. Luger comes out and he agrees, but he says, "I don't want to hold anything back. I don't want you to hold anything back. If that's what you want, then we can go out and do this. And this is fine. It's not great, but I kind of get what they're doing. It gets to see something else is going to happen with the two of them later on, kind of indirectly that I actually legitimately love until, of course, they squander it. But we'll get there.
Yeah, DDP just says, "Let's squash this beef in the ring." And I'm not opposed. I
Yeah,
like it.
it's kind of also the thing that you kind of wanted for just Sting and Luger to do. Look, if we just have to
Yeah.
get to a point where we just duke it out, let's just duke it out and then we'll be fine. Like,
Like, yeah, well, and again, it's like, I like Crow Sting. I'm glad that we're getting a Crow Sting. But the reason we're getting to Crow Sting is just the dumbest storyline ever. It's just a complete miscommunication.
yeah,
A phone call would have prevented Sting from becoming Crow Sting. It's not the it's WCW bad storytelling. That's
yeah,
just not the way he does that. He should do that, right?
yeah.
Anyways, let's talk about some good stuff. Let's talk about 605 Saturday night.
I don't take notes on these things. I leave that to you. And
Yeah,
I thought it was the other thing, and I was like, good stuff?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, because we got Eddie in action. We got Lex in action. We got our boy, Steve Mongo McMichael, putting the championship on the line. My God, what a show they got on 605 Saturday night on the Superstation. But what's not so super? is our next match.
Uh-huh.
Because it's got Hugh Morris, who arguably not a bad wrestler,
Correct.
but also they don't do anything with him,
Correct.
versus Disco Inferno, who Joseph hates with every fiber of his being. So tell me about this 3-minute, 15-second banger.
This is weird because given what we've seen with Disco to this point, and I know he just came back, but it's odd that he puts up such a fight. Like, he's beating up Hugh Morris. It's partially to demonstrate that he's focused and serious now. Commentary openly makes fun of his being fired previously, though they don't say why. But they're also using this as an example to be like, now he's focused, and now you're seeing a good in-ring competitor. He's not a good in-ring competitor. He's really bad at his job. Anyways, Alex Wright comes to ringside to dance, and then Alex Wright helps Disco, but it doesn't work as Morris wins with the no laughing matter, which is just a moonsault. Good to see.
Yeah. But, Alex Wright, we got a rival. We got a budding rivalry here with Alex Wright, because Alex Wright slides the title to DDP, or not DDP. Wow, that'd be a wild.
That'd be hot.
That'd be a wild team up. I'm kind of for it. Yeah. Because my mind's thinking, how do I rebook this? And I just get Disco Inferno out of it, and I put Alex Wright and DDP together. Ooh. Anyways.
That'd be great.
Alex Wright is a diamond stud. God. Ooh. Bro, we're cooking right now. But anyways, Wright, Wright's trying to help his dancing fool friend, slides Disco the belt, to hit Morris with it, but Morris come down on him.
Yeah.
And Disco dies. And now Disco very upset. He's very upset about this. Alex Wright cost the match. And Alex is like, what? I was trying to help.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of like this storyline. But again, they're not going to do anything with it. That's the problem with all of these storylines. I'm like, I could see this being good. Let's never speak of it again.
Oh no, they'll speak of it again 6 months after it's cooled off.
Yes, that's true. But after that, we get Six, Kevin Nash, Conan, Buff Bagwell. They're coming out to give their side of the story and to respond to Ric Flair.
Yeah.
So, Joseph, tell me about the response to the response.
Nash says that they are too busy to deal with the Horsemen and their shenanigans. And then Bagwell says, well, I'm not busy, though. And Conan agrees. He says that he's not busy either. So Nash asks, is what they're saying that they would like to go down and defend the NWO? And then Bagwell says, it would be an honor. This is making fun of the Arn and Kurt thing that they did. This is the second week in a row they're doing that. It gets a C for me.
This isn't bad to start.
Yeah.
I feel.
Yeah.
This one drags on a ridiculous amount of time. There's some good lines in here. Like Six has a line about Flair's not really mad about what they did. He's mad about how much better he looked as like Flair or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's okay. That's a good line. Like, but Kevin Nash asks Bagwell and Conan like 27 times if they want to wrestle tonight. So what you're telling me is, you want to wrestle. So what you mean is, he just keeps doing it. I don't know if they told him like to drag it out for some reason or what, but he clearly does not care.
Yeah.
And it's bad.
We're in a point where Kevin Nash, like after last week, Kevin Nash was really good, right? Even though we had our reservations about that whole thing, but he was very good last week. And then immediately after, he just like mentally checks out. And we're in this point. There is a specific episode. It's coming up soon because I know because you and I just recently went through the remainder of the year on Nitro, just watching it together. And there's a specific episode where Nash says that they've been doing this for like 16 months, which me and Scott were like, Jesus Christ, like 16 months is insane. And in that promo itself, he is so clearly checked out. He's just goofing off. And it's not endearing like the way Scott Hall does when Scott Hall goofs off. He's just goofing off. And it's literally like, you are wasting WCW's money being as unprofessional as you are right now in this promo. And this is where we're at with Nash. It's wild. And when Nash is on, but right now he's not on. And it is hard to watch. This is the problem with what Bischoff has created. He has created an environment where I hate the term inmates are running the asylum. I hate that term because it's so negative. It's quite literally the people who should not be running things are the ones who are running things. That's really what it is, right? That's what's happening in WCW, and we'll surely never see that again in a competing with WWF or WWE company. Anyways, gang.
Never. Yeah, I really think there should be a rule that talent, like active talent, should not have creative control over anything.
Mhm.
It's just you just see it just goes bad every time. Anyways, let's get into our next match, which is Chris Jericho versus Brad Armstrong.
Mhm.
We get a little fun at the beginning, though, because Eddie Guerrero comes out because he's doing this, which I kind of like this angle where Eddie's just like, hey, like, let me do it, though.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah.
have your title shot. And Brad Armstrong's like, no, what are you talking about? So they get into a little bit of an altercation. But
Mhm.
before I jump to you to let you start talking about this match, I'll also mention that commentary starts talking about how J.J. Dillon is going to have to step down as WCW commissioner, which is relevant. So I just wanted to
Yes.
get that in before we got into the match. Tell me about this 2-minute, 30-second match.
So like you said, Eddie comes out with the mic, calls Jericho lucky again. He doesn't want to wait until Sunday. He wants Brad to step aside now. And Brad, who does not have his brother's mic skills, says he'll whoop Eddie. Eddie leaves, seemingly. He really didn't, though, as he interferes later on in this match. Jericho counters and gets the Lion Tamer on Eddie. Armstrong then attacks Jericho, and both he and Eddie gang up on him as we head to commercial. And I gave this a C because why? So Armstrong is now a heel. They've established that with this match, he's now a heel, but why are he and Eddie teaming up? You guys just had this little back and forth. It's confusing. It doesn't make any sense. I think they could have just done a standard match and then just gone to the pay-per-view and it would be fine. We didn't really need this.
Yeah. But what we did need is Nitro Girls! Hour number 2! We're getting all of it. We're getting all. Well, I mean, the Nitro Girls kind of start hour number 2. And then to really start hour number 2, we get Hulk Hogan and Buck Bagwell. Or not Buck Bagwell, Eric Bischoff. I am losing my mind. I'm trying to rebook these things to make them better. This one is a doozy, Joseph. Tell me about it.
I don't have a lot on this. Hogan calls himself a god. He's dead, by the way. He calls out Sting, who comes out 5 minutes later. They timed this so horribly. Sting falls to the ground, and they pretend that this clearly a dummy version of Sting is hurt. They're pretending it's actually Sting. Commentary then tries to put over how horrible this is by calling it, much like General Anthony McAuliffe, nuts. That was a joke for Scott.
What a reference
for Scott.
What a reference. It means go to hell.
They actually try to put this over like this is actually Sting, and it isn't until they drag him into the ring. They're like, "Oh, it's not Sting." It's so obviously not Sting. Don't lie to your audience. Don't actually lie to your audience. That is insane that you would do that. Hogan then leg drops the dummy and pins it. I'm conflicted on this one because I think it's timed poorly. I hate what commentary does, but I kind of like what the NWO is doing here. I think there's a lot of fun in it. I'm going to give this one a B.
That's the problem is that everyone's acting like it's real.
Yes.
That's the problem.
Yes. If commentary was this is absurd, blah, 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 that would have.
If they go, oh my God, Sting's coming, he drops, they go, wait, that's not Sting.
Yeah.
And NWO keeps playing it up though, like it is.
Yeah.
And they're going, oh my God, this is ridiculous. That would have been great. Because this is the purpose of this dummy Sting dropping from the Raptors. They're going to do it several more times. it leads up to a pretty fun story angle, right?
Yeah.
It leads up to something that's fun. But yeah, the way they handled it this time, where commentary believes just so clearly this dummy, it is so obviously a dummy, is Sting, is absurd.
Right.
And they all should have known that was a terrible way to handle it. Like, initially you go, oh my God, it's Sting. Oh my God, wait a minute. No, that's a dummy. What are they doing? And NWO, but NWO still playing it like it's real, but like in a tongue-in-cheek kind of way. I think that would have been really good.
Yeah.
But yeah. After that, we get something very important, Joseph.
I can't wait to talk about this one.
A Fall Brawl ad. I swerved your ass.
You did.
It's a Fall Brawl ad. Because Fall Brawl is coming up next. Get ready.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about it on the Patreon.
Yeah.
$2 a month. Like, comment, subscribe, smash all the buttons and things.
If you want to see me scream at another WCW pay-per-view, it's probably this one. Yeah, $2 a month.
Tune in. Joseph will scream. $2 a month. You get to hear Joseph scream. I think I screamed recently on one. I got very upset at.
Too. Wow.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get to what I was really talking about before I swerved, Joseph. We got the 1-800-COLLECT road report in Charlotte. We're going to be in Charlotte, Flair Country, USA. Tell me, Joseph.
This one makes me so happy. Lee says Nitro is the biggest thing to come to Charlotte since Vlade Divac. Vlade Divac was a fantastic center who was drafted by and played for the Lakers. He was drafted in 1989. 2 years later, Lakers point guard Magic Johnson and face of the team had to retire in his prime of only 31 when he contracted the HIV virus. That's a whole other story. We're not going to talk about that. But this team was supposed to be the next Lakers dynasty. But without Magic, this never came to fruition. So this creates a dark period for the Lakers where they have some fun young guys, but little to no direction from coaches to the whole kind of top down. In 1996, the Lakers decided to make significant changes. The first change is that during the 1996 draft, they trade Vlade Divac to the Charlotte Hornets, which is the reference that Lee Marshall is making here. They trade him to the Hornets for a no-name shooting guard out of Lower Merion High School, the number 13 overall pick. This shooting guard was drafted by the Hornets. His name was Kobe Bean Bryant, and he is the greatest player who ever played the game of basketball, and I will gladly fight anyone who disagrees because, like Bernie Mac, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. Anyway,
wow.
Lakers then drafted at number 24. The same in the same draft, they drafted number 24, Derek Fisher, a point guard. A week later, with the cap space they saved from trading Vlade Divac, they then signed Shaquille O'Neal, who was the most dominant center of his era. In 7 seasons, Shaq would score a staggering 27 points per game with 11.8 rebounds per game and 2.5 blocks per game. The nucleus of Kobe, Fisher, and Shaq would bring the Lakers 3 straight championships and 4 straight finals appearances. Actually, no, it wasn't 4 straight. There was one off. 4 appearances. After Shaq would later be traded, the tandem of Kobe and Derek Fisher would get another 2 championships, and this one was in 3 straight finals appearances. Now, the funny thing about this trade is that the Hornets actually initially looked like the winners of the trade because it wasn't just seen as a way to offload Divac's contract, and that the Hornets were in a far better spot because of this, because that was true. Vlade Divac was a star player at this time. So the Charlotte Hornets were riding high. They were like, we are going to win so many championships because we got this guy. And contrary to standard center position, he was a really good court general. So he knew where everybody was and he can move the ball around as a center, which is very rare in the game of basketball. It's a little more common now, but at the time it wasn't. Think of like an early version of Nikola Jokic. That's kind of what Vlade Divac was. Very similar. Jokic is obviously miles better. So this was seen as a win for Charlotte. So Lee Marshall's reference here is actually like perfect because Kobe has not become the Kobe that we're all going to know and love. Divac is the biggest thing to hit Charlotte. So it's just really funny reference to me. Kobe is now a household name and Divac is a ball kind of name. Anyways, back to Leah Marshall, who tells us that Charlotte is named after the wife of King George III, which explains why the city is called the Queen City. But residents are grateful. The city wasn't named after King Sewer Inspector Lord Weaselton. And I laugh.
Oh,
Gets an A+ from me. I loved it.
the bigger the stretch, the better it is, bro.
Yes.
That's my
Absolutely.
opinion. You heard it here. I have to say, though, all that other stuff, what the hell did any of that have to do with WCW Nitro?
Hey, man, when he hits a reference I like, I got to tell a story.
Okay, fine. I'm just sitting here going, what the? Where did
I've done
what?
it for the Beatles. I've done it for Elvis. I do it.
I know. I'm letting you have it. It's fine. I'm just kidding. Rick and Scott Steiner, some call them the Steiner brothers, versus Meng and the Barbarian. Some call them Faces of Fear. We got a match. 5 minutes, 30 seconds.
And this is where I make up all the time that I spent talking about Kobe. Scott, you better read quick. This is a heavy-hitting match that sees Mortis and Wrath interfere, as well as Harlem Heat, and then all these tag teams just kind of fight each other. It gets a C.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, this is kind of easy because it really just kind of goes into our next match. Scott Hall versus Super Calo. What?
Yep. This is an
2 minutes, 30 seconds.
This is an interesting matchup, but obviously Hall wasn't going to lose this. Ray Traylor gets in Hall's face post-match, and the two start fighting. Traylor hits a monster spine buster on Hall, then the Big Boss Slam on Vincent. They're calling it something else. I don't know what they're calling it. Hogan comes out, and he gets Ray Traylor gets beat up by everybody. An interesting idea that should not have ended with Ray Traylor losing, and should also not have seen Hogan show up. Because obviously once Hogan shows up, Traylor can't win this fight, but it would have been fine if he had beat up everybody else.
Yeah.
I gave this whole thing a D.
Again, like, we had this, we gave him this big moment last week about, I'm not Big Bubba, I'm Ray Traylor. You guys tried to put me out of commission. I got fired via FedEx. I'm back and I'm mad. And then 1 week later, it's over.
Yep.
And I think they call it the Trailer Park Slam or something like that.
Oh, gotcha.
Because they're doing a trailer park thing with him.
Yeah.
Which I think there's an angle there with trailer and trailer, right? Like you could do something with that. But yeah, they do the spray paint on his back, and it's like, come on, every damn time.
Yeah.
Dean Malenko versus Psychosis. Psychosis, I'm home. That's Ricky Ricardo. I don't know how I did it. 7 minutes. Tell me.
In a recurring problem for WCW, a fan runs in and gets attacked. This happens all the time, and commentary acknowledging it and joking about it just encourages it to happen again, which it will. This is a good match despite the earlier distraction. It sees Malenko win with the Texas Cloverleaf. Jeff Jarrett comes out and calls out Malenko, and he says he wants him now tonight. Malenko says sure, but then Jarrett backs away and tells him only if he lets his #1 title shot be on the line. Malenko chases Jarrett into to the back, and then Deborah cuts a promo to literally no one. It gets a D.
Oh. Well, all right. Well, as I mentioned earlier, J.J. Dillon, he's out. He's no longer the commissioner because I think they've realized that that's not working. Because not letting him do anything is a bad booking decision, and it isn't working. So now we need a new commissioner.
I love this.
And it is none other than Rowdy Roddy Piper. Joseph, what do you make of this?
This is the literal storyline that WWF told in early 1996. This makes me laugh. Not only is WCW getting worse, it's stealing booking ideas from when WWF was bad. Now, to be clear, I actually liked Piper in an authority role, and I said as much back then. So I'm not changing my tune on that. I do like Piper in this role. I think he makes a lot of sense. I think his promos work. He's also not someone you can just push around, which is absolutely what you need from your authority figure. Piper cuts a very fun promo. He says Hogan versus Sting will happen, and it will happen before the year closes, though he does not give us a specific date. It's going to be Starrcade. It's a whole thing. We'll talk about it. He announces that he, though, has an open contract from last time that he was here, and it's to face Hogan. So he says at Halloween Havoc, he will face Hogan in a 20-foot steel cage match. Is it for the title? No. Why not? I don't know. Anyways, he calls the NWO as obnoxious as Barney the Purple Dinosaur. So Barney just catches strays for some reason. When I was a kid, I loved Barney.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
He says at War Games, he's taking DDP and Lex out of the War Games match because their heads aren't clear. Objectively, I think that's a very good angle. He is putting the 4 Horsemen in, and that's going to be the 4 Horsemen versus the NWO. And man, it's going to suck, but we don't know that yet. This promo is honestly a ton of fun, and the second really, worth a watch thing on this episode, I'm giving it an A.
Yeah, all of it is pretty good. As you said, he's done this before. I think he even references it. I think he talks about that he's been president of WWF. Yeah. I like all the angles. Obviously we've got to find a way to apparently keep padding out the Sting thing. So now we're going to put Roddy Piper in between. So we got a Roddy Piper Hogan match, which we would love if Rowdy would win one of these, like when it mattered. He's won a few, but not when it mattered. But again, this is not for the title, so it doesn't matter. This is just Rowdy getting some revenge, I guess. The removing DDP and Lex makes perfect sense, right? We've got them brawling tonight to settle their dispute. Their heads are not in the right place to go against NWO. And the 4 Horsemen got some beef right now with the NWO. It's perfect booking. It's perfect booking. I hope it leads to some good storylines, though.
Absolutely.
That's what I really hope. After that, though, we get some more NWO versus the Horsemen. We get Ric Flair and Kurt Hennig versus Buff Bagwell and Conan. This is a long one. This goes 9 minutes, like 30 seconds. So tell me about it.
You know what doesn't go 9 minutes and 30 seconds? My synopsis of this match.
Oh.
This is an okay match that sees Hennig beat Conan with a fisherman suplex after Flair trips Bagwell. Important to note here, the legal men at this point are actually Flair and Bagwell. So this ending makes little to no sense. It gets a C from me.
Yeah, they do that.
Yeah.
They do that. Yeah, they kind of celebrate afterwards. It's like, yay, we've righted the wrong, I guess. Yeah. I don't know. They don't send your Nitro tapes. They want your Nitro tapes. They want to see your Nitro party because you're gonna get the Nitro girls are gonna come over and whatever. And Joseph and I hate this because this is how they get rid of Lee Marshall. And it's wrong. Yep. Because that's all we want is Lee Marshall. It's the only thing keeping us going.
Yeah, 100%.
And the only thing keeping this night going is our main event where we got Diamond Dallas Page versus Lex Luger just to blow off some steam.
There you go.
4.5 minutes, Joseph. Tell me.
You'll never believe this, but during the match, the NWO come out. DDP doesn't realize the NWO actually helped him, and now we have, is DDP in the NWO? Fucking why? DDP attacks the NWO, which luckily makes commentary go, oh, he clearly isn't, so thank God they squashed that immediately. And Luger joins him, but of course the numbers game is a problem. Giant then comes out to the aid of the WCW members. They fight off the NWO as the show closes. Not Hogan or Nash, but sure, the rest. DDP and Luger miss the handshake and then kiss instead. I'm kind of joking about this, but I'm also kind of not. And if you're watching this episode, you'll see it too. They try to high five and handshake and they miss and they decided to go for a hug, but they both lean the same way and just, it's hilarious. Anyways, what's not hilarious is this match. It gets a C.
Good for them.
Yeah,
good for them. That's a really good friendship, and
absolutely.
I hope someday we have a friendship that close.
I feel like we do already.
Whoa. Anyways, let's get in the car and drive from Milwaukee to Cincinnati because you can do it. It's only about 6 hours.
Well, while we're on that car ride, Scott, So we have to kind of test this this idea of how we're going to handle things like Thunder and SmackDown as they come up. So one of the thoughts that we had is actually live streaming those on our Patreon. Yeah. Make sure your turn signal's on, sir. Please
Thank you. Yeah.
follow the yeah. So
Where did you drive, you asshole?
so what we're gonna do is actually one of our Patreon members actually suggested this because we didn't know like how to handle this. So I'm gonna test doing a live stream of the pay-per-view that happens right before the Monday Night Wars start.
Mhm.
So we can figure out how it works, make sure it works and everything. So once we get into that, because it'll be happening in a few months when Thunder starts, we'll have that already tested out and everything. So expect some dates if you're on the Patreon, expect some dates to start popping up on potential live streams so we can figure out that whole process. And now I think we've arrived at Raw, have we, Scott? I think it's right there.
Hey, what? Hey, how much to park?
Yeah.
How much to park?
I got it. I'll pay for it.
It's outrageous.
It is, but I'll pay for it. I'll pay for it. You drove us. I'll
Okay.
pay for it. Don't worry about it, man.
Okay.
Don't let this
Okay.
ruin your day. Yeah. I got it.
Okay. All right. Do you have the tickets?
I do have the tickets. Yeah. You thought I forgot them.
You do?
You thought I forgot
Yeah.
them. I did it.
Yeah.
Not again. Not
Yeah.
again. I didn't do this again.
Okay. Because we have arrived in Cincinnati, Ohio at a location. I actually don't know where this is because Pro Wrestling Fandom don't tell me. So I'm going to find out while we're talking because the audience has to know. They stop me in the grocery store. They say, Scott, love the pod.
Yes.
One of my
absolutely.
favorite things about the pod is where you tell us what the arena is, and you got to do it. So I'm going to find out.
Yeah. Arguably the only thing they actually like on the pod.
Yeah, we see it. They immediately turn off after I say it.
Then they tune back in.
Maybe I
They
should.
find when we go to the next place, they tune back in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where that. Okay. And then they leave again. Yeah.
Maybe we should hold it till the end.
There you go. Suspense.
Yeah. Well, let's start it out because we start out with the real commissioner, Sergeant Slaughter. Again, he is showing you how to do it right.
Yes.
WCW, pay attention.
Yeah, while still allowing shenanigans to happen around him. Like they're doing this perfectly. You mind if I run right in this one, Scott?
Go.
Okay, Vin Man interviews Sergeant Slaughter and he says, look, things are getting out of hand here, which of course, like how could Vin Man do anything about it? He's just a commentator. Slaughter agrees and calls it chaos. He says there will be order. He suspends Austin indefinitely. He won't be allowed back until he has a doctor's note. He announces, starting tonight, an intercontinental title tournament that will finish at In Your House Bad Blood. He tells Austin he will forfeit the Intercontinental Championship at Bad Blood and present it to the tournament winner. And then glass shatters. Austin comes out. He says, you come out here and talk about law and order, but what you don't realize, jackass, and Vin Man cuts him off and says, show a little respect. And he says, I don't respect anyone in this ring, and that's the bottom line. I'll break every damn law you can make, and can't nobody stop me. You sit here and you say, that's an order, this is an order, that's an order. Hell, I can look at you, son, and the only thing you've been ordering is a bunch of damn cheeseburgers. You sit there and watch your little doctor's reports and say, you can't wrestle because you're hurt, you little neck. Like you're supposed to be concerned about my welfare. Son, you ain't been to my house. By the way they're paying me, I'm hurt. When I'm hurt, pretty soon I'll be on welfare. Talk about delivering a title. You talk about me delivering the Intercontinental title. The only thing that I'll deliver is a big can of whoop ass right to your front door. Do I make myself clear? Austin tosses the title and hits a stunner on Slaughter and then does sit-ups because that apparently shows that his neck is okay. Officials try and remove Austin as Vin Man gets in his face until Austin steps to him, and then Vin Man runs out of the ring because he realizes he's about to get stunnered. Austin joins commentary in Vin Man's place and taunts JR before finally leaving. When we come back from commercial, JR chastises Austin's behavior, and this whole thing gets an A+. It is fantastic.
And Jerry asks Vince why he didn't do something. And Vince's like, I don't know, you know, which I thought was good. The whole thing was good. Like, why'd you do anything? Yeah, it's fun. Cincinnati Gardens.
There you go.
So, hi guys.
Yeah, you shouldn't have said it. You should have waited.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Anyways, after that, we get a segment from Friday night's main event, where apparently Vader and Bret Hart got into it. And that leads us to our first match, which is kind of wild that this is our first match of the night. Bret Hart, the WWF champion, versus Vader in a no holds barred match.
Mm-mm-mm.
What are you looking at?
No, I
Am I
just
wrong?
no, you're fine. I just realized I did my notes weird, but I got it. I got it.
Okay, are we good? Oh, this is another
Yeah.
one where we have to
No,
carry you.
no, I'm good. I'm good. I don't know how I did that, but that's funny. Yeah, Bret Hart versus Vader. I got it.
11 minutes, 10 seconds. Go.
Bret Hart grabs a mic after his entrance, and he calls Cincinnati a bunch of idiots and then insults Pete Rose. Brian Pillman is from Cincy, so this is kind of funny, but there you go.
Mhm.
By the way, if you're listening from Cincinnati, is Cincy what you guys actually call it? Because sometimes we, as people who are not from a place, will call it the slang. Like San Fran is a good example. People from San Francisco do not call it San Fran. If you are not from
Is that-
California, yeah, yeah. If you call it Cali and that's horrible. Don't call it Cali. It's California or NorCal or SoCal or Southern California or Northern California. Cali does not happen. Does not exist.
No,
If you meet someone who's like, I'm from Cali, they need to be shot into the sun.
they're not.
Yeah. Anyways, Hart then calls Vader a big, huge piece of human excrement. And when I say that, I mean he literally says that, which actually made me laugh. This then is a hard-hitting match that sees Bulldog interfere, but the Patriot helps out, and then Owen jumps in too. But when Owen's around, that probably means somebody else is lurking nearby, so Austin runs in and beats up Owen, who at one point is getting dragged by Austin as Owen is holding onto the apron for dear life. It's hilarious. The Harts run away, and the match is thrown out. When we come back from commercial, Slaughter is visibly upset. This gets a B+. It is fantastic.
It's a good match and a wild one to start out our Raw. That it's just when I saw it, I was like, what? This is wild, but in a good way. It's wild. They're doing what WCW used to do, right? Where we just put on wild matches on a normal Monday night, and I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm
Yeah.
excited. After that, the Godwins come out and they want a piece of the Headbangers.
Mm-hmm.
And they get it because the Headbangers like, all right, let's
They
do
did.
it. So the Headbangers come out, and we got the Headbangers versus the Godwins for 3 minutes and 5 seconds. It's a non-title match, but we
Yes.
still get a match.
That's true. That is important to note because during this match, seemingly a fan interferes and helps the Godwins. They win because this. However, it isn't actually a fan. It's actually Uncle Cletus Godwin.
What?
Okay. We don't know who this person is. They say that like we've known who this person is. We have no idea. It gets a C. It's whatever. I think they realize the Godwins are no longer working and they're trying to make them work again.
They're trying to do the Dudley boys over here, just adding random ass family
That's a
members.
good point.
But the Dudleys, but when the Dudleys do it, it's fun.
But also
We like
kind
random Dudleys.
of to that point, the Dudley boys kind of work in spite of that because only two of them become famous. And I will say Spike Dudley needs to get his flowers. Spike Dudley's fantastic. He does have a run in WWF and WWE, but he like there are certain small guys I think should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Spike Dudley's one of them.
Yeah, I agree. After that, we got Sonny, and we got an IC title tournament because Austin is injured, and so because Austin, right? Was Austin IC champion?
Yeah,
because he won it from Owen. Yeah, so we got the IC title tournament match because Sergeant Slaughter suspended him because he said Austin will not do what's best for Austin, so Austin's getting suspended. He's dropping the titles. We're doing everything we can to get him to just go home, which Austin refuses to do. But that has led us to our Intercontinental title tournament quarterfinals. That's what it says here, but I don't even think we even started this.
This is the first match, so.
But according to this, it's a quarterfinal match. So there you have it. Oh, on ProWrestlingFandom.com. And it is, I know you're waiting for it. It is Dude Love versus Brian Pillman. Tell me.
Okay. Dude Love comes out and he grabs a mic and he says he's having trouble getting into the groove. He calls Pillman a wacky, nutty, far out cat. What he needs is a friend for moral support. He isn't here to beat Pillman within an inch of his life, but he can promise Pillman that he will never forget the name of his friend, the name of Goldust. Goldust comes out, and then he only has half of his face painted, which is really subtle storytelling to let you know that without Marlena, he is not whole, which I love.
I like that.
That is
I didn't
really
even realize
good.
that.
Oh,
I
it's
like
so good. Pillman says, Pillman's on the phone, by the way. He calls in and he says that he's at home and he won't come in until the WWF can guarantee him a safe environment. He or Marlena. Again, it's Marlena, but he keeps saying Marlena. He says
I kind of love.
Yeah.
He doesn't even bother to learn her name.
Yeah.
It's just like
he says he is exhausted from last night with the dynamo that is Marlena. He presents Brian Pillman's X-Files, which is footage that he has recorded of their time together. I didn't take notes on this because I figured we would just kind of talk about it as long as we wanted to, which I don't really want to talk about a whole heck of a lot. Essentially, the point is, and we will get a second segment of this later on, the point of this is to taunt Goldust, and it's also to show that Pillman is having a non-consensual relationship with Marlena that he is saying is consensual when it is clearly not. That is the gimmick here. It's not great. It could be great if you take some things out, but we'll talk about that at Bad Blood. We will talk about what could have worked if they had done it right. I will let you know the non-consensual part should never have entered this. Everything else you could make work if you did it right. That's what this is. We're going to get a second segment of this later on. Jerry loves this, and I'm going to talk about that more as well. This whole thing gets a C from me. I know what they're trying to do. I just don't love any part of it.
Yeah, as you said, this is Brian Pillman's X-Files. It's the triple X-Files, right? There's 3 X's because that's an old-fashioned symbol of like, it's not just pornography, but because like you'd see in old cartoons too, like beer bottles would have like triple X on it. It's just like a symbol for like vice or sin or like things that aren't appropriate, right? Because you'd see it like you remember watching old cartoons? Like triple X, that's like 3X on the bottle. So I don't think it's specifically about.
But it is in modern day history, yes.
Yeah. But I think it was more just a symbol of like something adult or inappropriate or something. I don't know. But anyways, but now more commonly it's kind of used for pornographic sort of things. And so he's got these home videos, and I think, the important thing too is the room is trashed, which is.
You know what's something I didn't think about? Is this before or after the Pamela Anderson tape?
I can Google machine it while we work, but it might be related.
Because that would be exactly why they're doing this then, because that is like such a huge moment in pop culture history in the 90s. Undeserving moment. Literally their home was robbed, so it's not like they tried to get that tape out, and it's horrible that it happened to them. And also that Pamela Anderson dealt with the 30, 40 years of being labeled, a slut when she should not have been, and is apparently a very lovely woman. So there you go.
Now dating Liam Neeson. Did you see that?
Liam Neeson. You
I combined both of those.
Yes, you did. Allegedly, I don't think they've ever confirmed it, but if they are happy for him, hope they're doing great.
Oh, beautiful. I'm trying to get the answer. It's not as easy as I thought it would be. I figured Wikipedia would have its own like article just about that, because it was such a
huge thing,
deal at the time. But I will get to the bottom of that answer to figure out when exactly that was. But I think the only part I really want to note is that the room is just completely trashed. Lamps are knocked over. The bed is like ajar. It's just very clear that that one of these people is not a willing participant in it, and it's just the whole thing is just very. And I mean, it's meant to be. It's meant to be very kind of cringe and uncomfortable. But it's like, really, do we need that on a? because wrestling is kind of a children's program. Like, I get that you can be edgy and that sort of stuff, but kids watch it, and it's like, do
Yeah.
we need to go this far? I don't know. But where we don't go far enough is on the midget wrestling, because we got another match. Because Max Mini was so good last week, and he was
Mhm.
legitimately good. They're like, let's do that again. And this time we've got, and I'm going to butcher this, Piratita
I
Morgan.
believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
And they're gonna go at it for 2 minutes, 41 seconds.
Short match, huh? Anyways,
Oh!
Max Mini wins quickly. Max Mini had a very fun match, like you said, at the pay-per-view last night. They're trying to play off that because the crowd loved him. They love what happened against El Torito last night. This is whatever. This really just doesn't matter a whole lot. Now, after this, after or during this, one of the two, JR announces a Hell in a Cell match with Undertaker and the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, at Bad Blood, and I cannot wait to talk about that. This match, though, gets a C from me.
1995 is when the tapes, apparently multiple tapes. They were multiple tapes that were stolen and spliced together and sold as one. So there you go. Yeah, it was 1995. So this is after that. So that this could be a reference.
I think it is.
Kind of dated. I mean, I guess kind of dated at this point, but not really, because that was a big deal.
Especially when you see what's going to happen with how he dresses her. I don't think it's that dated.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, because the tape itself is like, I guess it was released like 2 years ago, but whether you like it or not, it was a very important cultural moment for a lot of people.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that in a positive way.
No.
Like, I don't mean important in like good. I mean important like it was
impactful.
Like
Important's probably not the right word.
like,
Impactful. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of infamous moments in the 90s, like the O.J. Simpson trial, the Clinton impeachment.
90s is really just a fall from grace decade.
Yeah, the Pamela Anderson sex
Yeah.
tape. There's a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're just kind of like, everyone was aware of it. Everyone was talking about it.
But here's the crazy thing. Of those three, only two of them, it's one of those, which one of these doesn't belong? Because the Pamela Anderson and Tommy Lee thing, like that was just their own stuff that was stolen from their house. Like that was nobody else's business. The other two were people being scumbags. So yeah, that was what the 90s was. It was very much gotcha journalism. That's what they were going for. It created a wave of journalism that now does not exist. But that could be for a positive or negative. We'll see.
Thanks to Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of, because he destroyed Gawker over his tape, right?
Yeah.
And I think that kind of everyone was kind of like, oh, they can do that?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we shouldn't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is kind of because of because he and Peter Thiel, because Peter Thiel gave him all the money in the background to fund the lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's what that was. But anyways, let's get back to this because we got Vince McMahon, and he wants to talk to Undertaker about everything that happened last night. And I don't want to spoil it, Joseph. I don't want to spoil what happened last night, because to know what happened, you gotta subscribe. You gotta listen to the Patreon. But I'm gonna let you spoil it.
Okay. So, like you said, Vin McMahon asked Taker about his reaction from last night, and Taker says that they, being the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, Rick Rude, Chyna, and Hunter Hearst Helmsley, they opened the gates of hell. Ooh, big spooky.
Mm-hmm.
He gives HBK credit, though, for looking death in the eye and not blinking. Taker says he won't rest until Michaels' flesh is rotting. Vin Man asks about Taker's feelings on Hell in a Cell. But Taker really just kind of continues on him taking out Shawn, and that at Bad Blood, his bell will toll. And then HBK shows up on the Titantron and says, Undertaker, why don't you ring your bells someplace else? Which I laughed at. He says that he was backed into a corner and barely escaped with his life, but he did escape. It's because HBK is a survivor. He says at Hell in a Cell, he will survive again. He tells Taker that if by some stroke of luck he goes down, then Taker will go down with him. Taker says that at Hell in a Cell, Shawn will rest in peace. This is a mostly good promo from both of them. Gets a B from me.
Yeah, it's a good one. Then we go backstage to Sunny, who's doing an interview with the Hart Foundation, doing kind of what you want, right? She's being a commentary person, doing interviews. she's got an interview here with the Hart Foundation, as I said, and Owen tells us he's not scared of Steve
Mhm.
Austin, who he assumes is still lurking somewhere in the arena
Yeah.
because he's got Brett and Davey Boy by his side, and he is gonna win the IC title.
Well, that's not the only reason
And
he
that
says
lead
that's not the only reason that he says
tell
he's not scared. He also says, I
tell
beat Austin already, so why would I be scared of him?" Yeah, he says he will get back his title that should already be his, he feels, after Austin should have been stripped of it and it should have been handed right back to him. And then Jerry loves this Goldust having this Goldust and Marlena story. So hold on, let me see what I completely
Uh-oh.
because this goes right
Uh-oh.
into a match. That's why.
Yes.
I get why I did it. Okay.
Yes.
This goes right into the Goldust versus Owen Intercontinental title
Mhm.
tournament match. Why don't you tell us how long it is, and then I'll get into the Jerry stuff.
Thank you so much for asking. It's 2 minutes, 9 seconds. It's real short. It's shorter
Yes.
than our little people match.
Yeah. Jerry, this makes sense now in context. Jerry loves
Mhm.
this Goldust story and says Marlena called Goldust while having sex with Pillman. Goldust gets himself DQ'd and then jumped by the Hart Foundation. Austin runs in with a broom, though, and
Mhm.
sweeps away the competition. I loved it. We then
What a line.
hear Pillman over the phone again, and he wants Goldust to see more X-Files. I don't like the X-Files stuff so much. Everything else I like, except for, I don't like the X-Files stuff and I don't like the Jerry stuff. Everything else I like. I love Austin in here. That gets a B for me.
Yeah, the Pillman stuff, it's just, again, him just trying to show us it's consensual, and everything we see really tells us it's not. There's an "I love you" painted in the steam of the mirror in the bathroom
Mhm.
because Marlena and Terry Reynolds is
Yeah.
supposedly showering,
Yeah.
and that's really it. I try, we don't like it, but at the same time, it's part of the story, so I'm trying to get people the visuals of
Yes.
what's going
Yeah.
on. After that, though, we got the Hart Foundation again backstage. They want to talk about what just happened.
Mhm.
And Joseph, what just happened? Because Brett wants to know, when is WWF going to do something about this?
So we watched this promo forever ago, and I remember it vividly for two reasons.
Mhm.
One, Brett calls Austin, instead of a hyena, he calls him a hyena, which made me
Mhm.
laugh when I heard it the first time. And also, he cannot speak in this promo and he falls all over himself. It's
Yeah.
really bad. The gist of what he wants us to know is, why hasn't Austin been held accountable? But he just
Mhm.
literally cannot function in this promo. So it takes forever not only to get there, takes forever to deliver, and it takes forever for him to actually ask anything or say anything. It's a bad promo, but Bret Hart's the best promo in the game if you ask Bret Hart. It gets a D for me.
Ooh. Yeah, again, I feel like this is one that Owen would have done better because he's already done it better before.
Yeah.
Just I'm not worried, but we should still fire, suspend, arrest him, and all that, right? I would also note, though, that Davey Boy Smith takes the opportunity to hype his match with Shawn Michaels because they're going to be at one night only
Mm.
in the UK, and we're going to have a lot. Subscribe to the Patreon, even if you just do it for a week. Subscribe to give $2 to hear us talk about one night only, because the finish to that event is insane.
Yes.
It is nuts.
Yes.
And not in a good way. And not in a good way.
No, it is wild.
I feel in some it's the finish that needs to happen, but also, what were they thinking? Tune in.
Yeah, can't wait. Can't wait to talk about it.
And that brings us to our next match, which is a fatal three-way, I guess.
Triple threat.
Kind of. Yeah. The Patriot versus Savio Vega versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley. This is our main event.
Oh,
Right? Yeah.
I see why you're confused on that. Okay, I see why. Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm confused here. Yeah, because yeah.
Because it is a fatal four-way. You're correct. It is a fatal four-way match.
Yeah.
It's the Patriot versus British Bulldog versus Hunter Hearst Helmsley versus Savio, or not versus Savio Vega. Savio Vega actually joins on commentary. So we've screwed this whole thing up just about as bad as Bret Hart screwed up that last promo. It's a triple threat match with those.
I was about to
men.
say my notes are written like Bret Hart.
Yeah. Patriot, British Bulldog, Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Now, Savio Vega inexplicably joins on commentary, and we'll get into the match length in a second because something happens right before the match actually starts. He joins on commentary, says whatever he's saying, don't know, whatever. And then during British Bulldog's entrance, HBK and Hunter Hearst Helmsley attack Bulldog and specifically attack his bad knee before One Night Only. And I think, is One Night Only this weekend? It's this weekend or next weekend?
Be.
So before One Night Only, they attack him, which then knocks him out of this match. So in order to kind of still have a triple threat, they take Savio off of commentary, and Savio takes British Bulldog's spot in this match. Honestly, this makes logical sense from a storyline standpoint. I get why they're attacking Bulldog, so I'm okay with it. The Vega thing, I really don't think needed to happen. You could just done a 1v1, honestly, if you wanted to. But regardless, Scott, when is One Night Only, and how long is this match?
One Night Only is September 20th, so we got a week, I think. And this match is 17 minutes and 4 seconds, which I might have timed that all together. I don't know, because like there's basically kind of 2 matches here, but it's all one match. Yeah.
Commentary argues over Austin's antics, and Jerry interestingly defends him. Sean eventually comes back to the ring and joins commentary. He makes fun of Slaughter and says that he can enforce the rules since he was a special guest ref, which is hilarious given the outcome of that match. Sean says because Bulldog said he would do horrible things to me in the UK, I figured I'd just do horrible things to him here in the US. He mocks Vin Man the whole match, and it is great. Sean is DX Sean on commentary, saying that the UK will love him. He even speaks loose Spanish and says he should do Spanish commentary too. Jerry tries to join him, and HBK says, hey, I'm not as funny as you, King. I didn't have all day to practice, which is one of the best fucking lines I've ever heard in someone just absolutely taking Jerry down a peg. Sean off the cuff is wild. He then interferes, and Hunter capitalizes for the win. The Bariquas come out, but Chyna grabs chairs for her, Hunter, and Sean. Vader also joins the Patriot, who kind of needs his own backup. We get a standoff as we close the show. Normally, I'm not overly fond of standoffs because they just lead to nothing. However, I love everything Sean did here on commentary, as well as helping Hunter win. Hunter needs to get pushed. He's the actual king of the ring, but he hasn't really been doing anything, so it's nice to see him get some recognition. This gets an A+, or A for me. I almost said A+. It's not an A+ match. It's A+. Or it's an A. Jesus, I'm doing it again.
Whoa there, Brett. Well, who won?
I actually think yes, obviously I think it Raw won. I do think this is one of WWE's better showings in general. Even the NWO Hogan stuff was pretty good with the dummy. They did it wrong, but they did it a pretty good idea. There was a great promo from Piper, great promo from Flair. Both those I gave A's. It's a lot closer this week than it's been, but I'm still going to lean WWF Raw specifically because of Austin, Owen, and Sean. I think the 3 of them are really carrying this right now, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. I'm
going to give it to WCW because I want to.
Okay. That's how opinions work.
It's the only place well, it really is. I liked this episode. I liked the storylines that we've started.
Yeah.
None of them are going to end well. But watching this night, I was like, that's pretty good.
Yeah. No, you're right. It's not a bad episode at all.
Yeah. I liked the angry Ric Flair angle. I like Rowdy Piper because I feel like finally we're going to get someone in a position of authority who won't take NWO's crap.
Yeah.
It's all good until it's not.
Yeah.
Next time, tune in.
Probably next week. Actually, it'll be this weekend. Yeah.
Tune in, everybody. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.